to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloved, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person that supports us on Patreon, everyone that's subscribed to the channel, everyone that's emailing us. There's a lot of, activity happening among the Black family, the global Black conscious melanated nation. There's so much that our ancestors are doing in people's individual lives to get them ready, to get them coming back. Gotten so many emails from people who are just planning to relocate. They figured out, one or two things. And it's just a very exciting season. All I can say is be bold, be brave, do things you've never done ever before, because we are in a season and a time that has never been seen ever before. And I really wanted to bring this topic to your attention, beloveds, because I get a lot of emails and clips from our conscious high vibing community of Mzungus confirming who we are, confirming our identity, confirming we're the great ones, we're the chosen ones, we're the Hebrews, we're everything amazing. And I keep wondering, whenever I get such an email, why do we still need validation? Especially even when I see my fellow Black YouTubers making videos on, some pastor, finally some Mzungu pastor admitted that the Black people are the rightful rulers or whatever, or the Hebrew generation. Who cares? Who cares what they say? And why do we as a people still need validation? We're the only people who need validation from others. We're the only people who look outside of ourselves to verify what one of us has told us. And that's because one of the deepest psychosis that we suffer from is seeing one another as the enemy. You look in the mirror and you see yourself as the enemy. So anyone who looks like you see them as less. And it has a lot to do with this whole white Jesus complex, beloveds. Thinking that God is, of a different color and actually absorbing and taking in the negative narrative that we are lesser, we're we're sinners, we're this, all the negative stuff. I'm sure you've all heard it. But you see, it's not about them. Like, I think this weekend, last weekend, I don't know when you'll watch this, but Patreon, you should see this relatively soon. Last weekend, there was actually, some kind of national day of communing with the ancestors in South Africa, which was amazing. I actually didn't even find out until the day before. And the only reason I found out is because some Mzungu had stood up and said, and given a warning to his people, like, these people they're calling on their ancestors, they're calling on demons, we need to come out and we need to do this and we need to do that. And I looked at, first of all, the Mzungu looked so weak. He just looked like those regular, mechanics from some village somewhere. But secondly, and no pun intended for mechanics, you guys are lovely people, like, I'm not hating, but the way people were giving him authority, it was like he was some high priest or some big leader, when he was really irrelevant. Like, I wish what I'd been told about, I wish the people who were getting in touch with me had actually been getting in touch with me to tell me, something amazing is happening in South Africa. Like, they're having a National Ancestors Day or, African Spirituality Day. That's what we should have galvanized around. That's the messaging we should have been sending around. Not like, and I know we love the negative messages, and that's something that, because it just feeds to the base flight or flight instinctual emotions. It's so easier to get people connected quickly through the lower mind than to try and reach them through the higher mind. But you see, that means we keep feeding the beast, beloveds. So before we go and we make Mzungus viral for either saying something positive about us or something negative about us, why can't we make our own people go viral? For all those Christians who sent me the message about, the pastor who had said, the pastor somewhere in freaking, southern divided states, which is like the most segregated, where he was speaking to Zungu congregation, and he said that, the Africans or the black people are the real Hebrews. Why does that need to go viral when there's pastors like Stephen Darby who said that from back in the day and got taken out for it? You see, as custodians of this land, they have to always, bow and remind us of who we are. And that's why they've come up with the clever idea of doing it through entertainment, through media, through education, so that they kind of bypass that, they cleverly jump that rule without telling us who we are, to the point where it actually triggers something and we awaken to ourselves. But beloved, part of the decolonization of our minds and our spirits means that we have to stop looking to the Mzungu for validation, positive validation, negative validation. It doesn't matter what they're saying. We need to now start building our own voices. I'm so happy when I hear like someone sending me a video by PLO Lumumba, the great professor. Actually, I know I'm not doing interviews or anything, but I would love to interview him. I might actually go to Nairobi and just, do just that. But why can't we? And I see a lot of videos, a lot of our African YouTubers do promote, the ones who are doing news do promote some of our own. But that's the vibe we should be on. Let's make the authority people that look like us, in the validation people that look like us. Because a lot of the people who are speaking of, the people that look like you that built the pyramids, the people that look like you, Moses was black. He was a mystic man, Jesus was black. He was a master teacher. He was a mystic man. We've had master teachers and mystic men and the highest level, and women as well. I mean, the saddest part is that the women's story has just been, people aren't even ready for that one. I'm not even going to get into that, but we have to change that, beloveds. Before you send a message or speak about what a Muzungu has said, let that be an anecdote. Don't make that the subject of our discussion, because you're making them popular. Energy flows where attention goes, beloveds. So if our attention is always on the Mzungu, I was actually speaking to my father, and we're discussing how, not in a bad way, but beloveds, because they're always in our throats. They're always just shoving their agenda into our minds. But we make the Mzungu so popular, beloveds, by focusing on him so much. He wants to keep us in this narrative where he's the hero. He wants to keep us in his story. So let's not always, try and bundle ourselves up with him. He's not bundling himself up with us. He's stepping on us. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, like and share. And I'd absolutely love to hear from you in the comments below. I'm talking about, why do we need so much validation from the Mzungu? Is it some kind of like booby trap that he put in us? Is it some kind of Achilles heel? Is it some kind of handicap? Because I get, even like with research, like someone was writing to me and said, some Mzungu scientist has shown that, black, just the way the black body is and et cetera, it's the most superior of the vessels on this planet, of the, human beings. But we're not this body, but it's one of the most superior bodies, biological machines on this planet. And we're stronger, all these things, more resilient, blah, 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 more tolerant to pain, all these things. But the thing is, and it was all very interesting, I'm not denying that. But the thing is, so many of our own people are also saying the same things, are also doing extremely, thorough research. Those are the voices we need to promote. Because, beloveds, no one can see you fully. No one can tell your story fully. And that is going to be the downfall of Babylon, is that they thought they knew us fully when they only know the lesser part of us, the part that they can reach. So they can't see our story in its totality. They've got over 90% of our, instruments of power in their libraries, in their mosques, not their mosques, sorry, in their freaking, maybe in their mosques, who knows, but in their cathedrals, in their museums. But they still haven't been able to tap into that. They know this was used for this ceremony, that was used for that ceremony, and this had to face north and this had to face east. Because I was even being told these Mzungus have gone to the length for where even the things they took, the chief staff and all these things, the direction that they used to be kept in the shrine, like maybe they used to face east or they used to face north, they're kept in that same direction, in that same temperature. So they know these things have power, but they don't know how to access that power because they're of a lesser spiritual vibe. And so if we're always going through them to know ourselves, we'll never see ourselves in totality. Because you see, the observer, this is one of the things that they always say about the world, and why the world is mental first before it's physical. Because scientists have always told us that at the minute we observe an experiment, we change it. I don't know, there's a certain rule or law that it's called. So we always have to take into consideration the fact that our thinking, our vibe will change anything we're trying to study, because we are the genesis of it. And so, to really know ourselves, beloveds, part of that decolonization is we've got to stop looking to the Muzungu for validation or for any kind of over in and understanding of who we are. And that's why, I keep saying the Bible, beloveds, is one of the worst tools because it was written by them. Whether you tell me it's our scriptures or not our scriptures, I mean, there's like 66 books that weren't even included because they would have revealed to you. Actually, they talked about things that the Mzungu has no idea, like the book of Enoch, angels and demons and all these things that you can't see if you're a lesser being. You can't see with your two eyes. You have to move into your first eye experience. And we have the capability of having a first eye experience, but we're listening to the people who are stuck in their second and third eye and trying to figure out how we can have that first eye experience and go deeper in this life. So, beloveds, there comes a time when you can't look to the enemy for validation if you are really being real about our emancipation, because that means that he's still superior in your mind. So don't feel good. Don't feel like, don't feel like it's true when Mzungu says it. Know it's true already. And don't need his confirmation to give you confidence in the fact that you are the original ones. You are the most powerful beings. You're spiritual beings having a human experience. Our ancestors created all of this. Our ancestors walk among us. The ancient ones, the architects, walk among us. And already the battle has been won, but so many people are in the wrong mental state. And that's why it looks like Babylon is ruling and reigning. Babylon is only ruling and reigning in the minds of the weak people, beloveds. And every time you allow Babylon to validate who you are or confirm who you are, you're bowing to the beast. Know yourself, beloveds. Please. The seasons and the times demand it. You see, the Mzungu has hoarded the knowledge. Babylon has hoarded the knowledge. And the way they've even created like the whole PhD system and stuff, you can only get higher knowledge in their system. So I can't step out here and say, I'm a doctor because I'm a bloodline healer for hundreds of thousands of years. I've even come in with those powers, etc., etc. Babylon wouldn't acknowledge me, and so many of our own people wouldn't acknowledge me, and that's where we're going wrong. Because the highest people among us would probably have the lowest identity in Babylon, but they are the ones we require right now. But those are stories for other days. I mean, we're in those stories for other days, beloveds. But seriously, just know thyself. Be confident in thyself. Don't look to thy enemy to tell you anything about who you are or. And let's not make Babylon so popular. Until next time, tuko pamoja.